Are you thinking about starting your own podcast? Don't know where to start? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast. Let me tell you about it. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And best of all, it's free. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, Candid Mamas, and welcome. You're listening to the Candid Motherhood podcast with Roxy
and Jackie,
where we tell you all about the ins and outs of motherhood.
We share our own life experiences to prepare you for the good, the bad, and the ugly that comes along with parenting.
So grab your coffee,
sit down,
get comfy,
and enjoy today's episode.
Hello, Candid Mamas. Welcome back to an all-new episode, TGIF. We're going to talk all about responsibilities that you can give your children and how to teach them responsibility. I know it's really important for kids to have responsibility and knowing what that is, because responsibility in itself can mean many different things. So a couple examples. What is something that you want from your children or you want to be able to teach them? And most parents say like they want to be able to teach them responsibility and they want responsible children, to grow up to become responsible adults. But what does responsibility actually mean? Mm-hmm. So responsibility can mean a couple different things. It can mean being dependable, so people know that they can count on you, keeping one's word and agreements, meeting one's commitments, doing something to the best of your ability, being held accountable for your actions, accepting credit when credit is due when you do things right, and acknowledging your mistakes, and being a contributing member to a family, community, and society. So when a parent says that they want their child to be a responsible adult, these are the things that they want their children to be able to achieve. But how can we get there? So we have some tips for you today on how you can start teaching your children responsibility. And it starts at a very young age. You want to think like toddler years. You want to start when they're able to understand you, because if you don't give them any responsibilities and then just automatically assume that your teenager or expect your teenager to start being responsible when you haven't held them accountable all those years, that's not going to happen. So you want to teach them when they're young, give them tasks that are age appropriate. So you want to, like Jackie will tell us some examples of that.
There are a lot of age appropriate responsibilities that you can give your child. So, first of all, like, children don't want to just be like doted on. They need to feel like they make a positive contribution. So like we do things that we have responsibilities for that, makes you feel good when you do them. But all children can contribute in some way. So when they're starting out in the toddler age, you may think that like they're not capable of doing things because of their age, but that's not necessarily true. And you should also, increase the responsibility according to age. So what's age appropriate? So for toddlers, this is before 3 years old. So they could be responsible for their own bodies and limits of safety and decency. So, they know pretty much they can dress themselves. They can have the responsibility to pick out their own outfit for the day, for school, or for whatever you're doing, and know that like, I can't go to school in a bathing suit, Another age appropriate for a toddler would be to clean up their own mess. So, it's okay that you made the mess, and, you shouldn't necessarily scream at them or make them feel bad about making the mess. Just tell them it's okay. It's a mess. Messes can be cleaned. Just grab some paper towels and clean them up. And that's something that a toddler can easily do. So they can also pick what book they want to read, if you're reading like a bedtime story, or if you're reading, during the day, what toys they want to play with, what toys they want to share with others. Or like if they're having a play date and they don't want to share these specific toys with somebody, then they can, put those toys away before that person gets there. And then another one, specifically at probably 3 years old, is when they start learning, like, how to use the bathroom and everything. So they can tell you when they need to use the bathroom. Also, the amount of food that they eat. So you can provide whatever it is that you want them to eat, and they decide how much of it that they want. I mean, so that sometimes that may not always work, because for my son that would work, but for my daughter that wouldn't work, because she would want all of it. Let them have the responsibility of dealing with that, instead of you constantly asking them, when do you need to use the bathroom? Do you have to go? So giving them a little bit more freedom to think for themselves. So the next one would be age appropriate responsibilities for preschoolers, which is ages 3 to 5 years old. So they can choose their own clothes within parameters and maintain them by keeping them in reasonably neat piles by categories. If you're, like that, I'm like that. I set up the kids' dressers, and like pants go in this drawer, and t-shirts go in this drawer. So when they put the laundry away, because I make them put their own laundry away, they know where everything goes, instead of just shoving everything in one drawer. And they can decorate their own rooms, decide what they want on the walls. They can organize, also like what to eat within appropriate nutritional guidelines. So this only works if you limit accessibility of junk food. So it means that you have to decide what to do when they don't like what you made for dinner. So, if they don't like what you made for dinner, maybe you can compromise with them and say, okay, well, you can get like a yogurt instead. They can decide who to play with and when, who is allowed in their room, and whether they want to attend social events such as, play dates or school things that are happening. And then the next one would be age appropriate responsibilities for school age children, which is 6 to 9 years old. So they can start wearing their hair however they want, grooming themselves in that sense, clearing their plate off of the table and putting it in the sink or the dishwasher or whatever you want them to put it, doing simple chores around the house. I have a 6-year-old, I have an almost 9-year-old. So they do simple things like feeding the cat, cleaning the litter box, cleaning their rooms. They can help me like bring the laundry down, completing their homework on their own. That's another big one that they do. They know when they get home from school, they have about an hour to just hang out, and then they have to do their homework. Getting their backpack ready the night before, or like for my kids, they get their uniforms ready. How to spend their time after basic responsibilities like homework. So, limiting them to the computer, I guess, or TV, stuff like that. But they get to decide whether they want to watch TV or play with their video games. They can then start to also make simple foods for themselves, like snacks and lunch. I know that I started doing that with my kids. They can make themselves, if they want a bagel with cream cheese for breakfast, they can make a bagel with cream cheese. Or if they want a sandwich for lunch, they can make their own sandwich. And I been trying to tell them now to make sure that they can do it on their own. You want lunch? Okay, go make yourself lunch. Try to give them a little bit more freedom, so not to rely on me all the time, which is very helpful for me.
Yeah, I teach Julie. Julie does make her own snacks. She will come down and she can make herself a bowl of cereal. she's a little afraid to use the oven, and we don't have a toaster right now. So she's afraid to like put bagels and stuff in the oven just because she's afraid like how to get burned. But anything that doesn't require the oven, she will do. So like if she wants a fruit, you know, she'll come down and peel the orange herself or cut up an apple, something like that. Yeah, she does all that. The only thing, she knows how to make popcorn. Like they're having a movie night tonight, and she's the one who made the popcorn. She has a lot of responsibilities, and she's a pretty responsible kid. I mean, she'll feed the dog. We take turns feeding the dog. So on her nights, she feeds him, and she makes sure that me and Martin will feed the dog when it's our turn too.
That's funny.
She cat. She empties the litter box. She cleans up her room. She makes her bed. She has another animal, so she feeds her bearded dragon. So I mean, she does all that.
Yeah, I know. I like had a breaking point with the kids last year, and I was just like so over them not doing anything and leaving everything all over the floor and just like always getting stuff. So I made up a chart for them. I bought like the dry erase boards from the dollar store, and I did Monday through Sunday. And, you know, like I listed 5 or 6 chores that they needed to do. So at that time, Nate was not remembering to bring home his homework from school. And he also was having a hard time actually doing the homework. So those were 2 of the chores that like were on there: remembering homework, doing your homework, cleaning your room. The other one was, I think, feeding the cat and then changing the litter box. And Lacey had doing her homework, cleaning, showering. That was another one that was on the list. And like I would tell them, okay, so you need to shower like every other day. So you need to do your homework, 5 days a week. You need to remember your homework 5 days a week. You need to feed the cat in the morning and in the afternoon. Brushing your teeth was also on the list. So AM, PM for brushing your teeth. And I'd give them like, if they missed like 2 or 3 things for the week, then they wouldn't get the prize. And I would let them pick whatever the prize was. So like sometimes Lacey wanted to go spend $5 at the Dollar Tree. And I was like, okay. Or Nate wanted a new skin on Fortnite or Pokemon cards. So they were like interested in doing it because it gave them a responsibility to earn these things instead of just always getting something for doing nothing. I don't have the chart anymore, but I think they're a little bit older that they don't necessarily need a chart. It's more of just like little reminders to actually do the things that they are responsible for. So like Lacey is responsible for feeding the cat. And she was so excited because last week was the first day, like week that I paid her. So she feeds the cat in the morning and at night. And I gave her like $5 for the week. And she's like all excited now. What am I going to save? I want to save my money so I can buy this doll that I saw. So she's excited that she gets to work for the money. And like Nate cleans our fish tank, and he used to do the litter box, but he's not doing it anymore. So I need to like revise him a little bit more to be preteens and tweens, which is ages 10 to 12. You can start to increase their responsibilities more. So maybe they pack their own lunch for school. They can, self-groom some more, like grooming their nails, their hair. Maybe they're allowed to go out by themselves, like walking with a friend to their house or walking to like the neighborhood park, something like that. Staying alone in the house with certain rules about who can be with them. I would say that's probably more 12 years old and up. I don't know that I would leave a 10-year-old home alone. Like Julie's going to be 10 next year. Would you leave her alone?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd wait a little bit longer. It's not that I don't think she could. I think that like she's just fearful of being alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Like yesterday, her friend slept over, and she lives only like 2-3 blocks up the road. So she's like, Mom, can I, they don't have to cross any major roads or anything to get there, just around the neighborhood. So she's like, Mom, I want to ride a bike and like she wanted to escort her friend home on the bike. So I said, that's fine. But then that meant that she had to come back alone.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, are you going to come back alone? Are you okay with that? She's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. It was still daylight. So I'm like, all right, if you're okay with that, go ahead. So she did. She made it back fine.
Well, that would have made me so nervous.
We live in a really nice neighborhood, though. It's like all the kids are out all the time on their bikes. It's like when we were kids. I love it. I love when the kids are all outside because it reminds me of when we were kids.
Yeah. See, I mean, there's a lot of kids in my neighborhood, but like, for instance, maybe like 2 weeks ago, there was a 16-year-old autistic boy that went missing. And I mean, the entire neighborhood was out for hours searching for this boy. And he didn't end up being found until like 5 or 6 hours later at nighttime. So it's a little scary in a sense because, you know, we live on Long Island, so everything's like more congested and everyone's on top of each other. So like he could have gone anywhere within that time frame, and clearly he did because he wasn't found. I mean, they had helicopters, they had canine dogs like searching my backyard and stuff, and we even went around and we searched for like an hour all over the place. And there's so many schools, but there's many major roads like really close to my house, so
Yeah,
it's so easy to like get lost or just be taken, like we've talked about before. The last age appropriate responsibilities for early adolescents are 13 to 15 years old. And obviously it doesn't stop at 15 years old. But at 15 years old or older, I mean, I would hope that you have enough common sense and enough responsibility in your household to deal with whatever else you have to deal with. But when you are 13 to 15 years old, you can start to get yourself up in the morning and get ready for school. You don't need mom or dad to wake you up anymore. You can do your own laundry, eliminating us moms and dads from feeling like the maid. Obviously, they're not going to get a tattoo because they're not old enough, but you know, maybe if they want to get a piercing or if they want to change the color of their hair. I know I did that when I was like 16, 15. I dyed my hair pink. You know,
I got a piercing when I was 16. My mom almost near killed me.
I got my first tattoo when I was 16, but my parents didn't find that one out for a couple of years. They can ride the bus, they can ride a subway, they can go to the movies with friends, they can earn money finally for themselves by like babysitting or other jobs, and then they can budget their own spending. I mean, I know when I had my first job when I was 14. I was a camp counselor, but it gave me responsibility. Like I had to work for that money and I was able to spend that money how I wanted to spend it because it was mine and I earned it. And then obviously when I turned 16, I got a car. So I had to pay for that. And like my parents were the type of parents that were like, you want a cell phone, you want a car, get a job. So I've had a job ever since I was 14, which is probably what I feel like when you have like these responsibilities when you're at a younger age, it helps you better in the long run as opposed to somebody that maybe never had a job until like after college or something like that. I think it just more prepares you for the real world and the responsibilities that come with being an adult. Like my kids all the time, they say, oh, I can't wait to be an adult. I can't wait to be an adult. But I tell them, listen, you need to stay young, stay a kid, because when you get to be an adult, now, you know, you can't just go like miss a day of school and everything's great. No, you can't miss a day of work because some, you know, you don't necessarily have sick time or vacation time, things like that. And bills need to get paid. You know, mommy and daddy's not going to be paying your bills and your rent and your mortgage and all this stuff when you're an adult. So I try to tell them not to rush their childhood years.
It's going to be a balance, you know, you can't not give them any responsibility and just let them be a kid because then they're not learning how to be a responsible adult. But you also don't want to put too much pressure on them to make them feel like they didn't have a childhood. So it's
Yeah.
like a balance thing. Where's the happy medium? When we were kids, like I remember like during the week, all we were really responsible for was our own rooms, and then we had to like make our bed and just keep our room tidy and homework. That was like all our responsibility. But on Saturdays, my mom made us clean. Like that was our cleaning day. So she gave us all chores, and I was doing the laundry when I was like 10 or 11, and I had no problem with it. I would fold laundry, put laundry to wash. And after a while, like I didn't even need my mom to like be like, hey, can you do the laundry? I just automatically did it as soon as they came home from school. Like I just threw a load of laundry in,
Yeah.
But I would say I was probably a pretty responsible kid.
Yes, I feel like my parents were like more lenient with stuff like that. Like they tried to make me clean the house and do chores, and I would just tell them I'm not doing that unless I get paid. And they didn't want to pay me, so I said, well, I'm not doing it then. And they like never enforced it. But I mean, I still had a good work ethic and things like that. I mean, I paid my bills and I went to work and stuff like that. But Rob had a little bit differently because his parents were kind of separated when he was really, really young. His parents weren't around. So, and his sisters are a lot older. I think there's like a 10-year age gap. So, he would be doing laundry at 6 years old. Or I remember one story he told me, he went to school and he burned his hand on an iron. And he was like, don't call my mom. She's going to get upset. Don't call my mom. And they called his mom, because he had a burn on his hand. And they were like, where'd you get this burn from? He's like, I was ironing my shirt. And they were like, no, that's not right. Who irons their shirt in like second grade? But he was doing
Yeah.
He had all the responsibilities like an adult would have at a very, very young age. Cook for himself, laundry, clean, all that stuff.
How do you think that affected him like into his adult life?
I mean, I feel like it didn't necessarily give him a good childhood because he felt like he had to be responsible for these things. And, if he didn't do his laundry, he wasn't going to have clean clothes. Or if he didn't make himself any food, he wasn't going to eat because his parents weren't around, and his sisters were so much older that they already had like their own like life that they were already doing things. They didn't want to be bothered with like a younger brother. So
that makes me feel sad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of stories like that. Like, they weren't necessarily rich, but they weren't extremely poor. But like, I remember he would eat like bullets of salami because that's like all they had. And, what else was he going to do? But he tells me stories all the time of him like literally making like full on meals when he was like 7 years old. And I just like think of what like our kids, where they're at, and there is no way Nathan would be ironing anything, doing any sort of laundry, or making a full meal, So
I remember our bus stop was only like 3 houses down. I had to walk like 3 houses, and we lived in a dead end, so we didn't have to worry about traffic or anything. So I was already walking myself down to the bus stop in first grade. And my mom, she was like, she would get up to make my lunch, but she wouldn't always walk me down to the bus stop. She just like give me my lunch and be like, have a good day. I think by 3rd grade, that's where Julie's at right now. By 3rd grade, I was making my own lunch. I was waking myself up. I was walking to the bus stop by myself, and my mom was only worried about getting like the little ones ready, like my sister and brother. Actually, at that point, neither of the little kids were going to school yet because we're like a couple years apart. So I'm getting up and doing everything by myself, and plus my dad always works nights, so my mom was always up late. So I guess she either couldn't get up in the morning, or she just like took it as an opportunity to sleep in. But I remember having a lot of responsibility pretty young, but I think I handled it pretty well. I don't think it made me like lose out on my childhood or anything, because that's just my personality now. Like I was the one waking my up for school and my sister, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like you had a lot of responsibilities because your mom had a baby when you were like 14 years old. So, you know, you were like a built-in babysitter, built-in like, you know, nanny,
yeah.
and all that.
I remember the first time my mom left me alone with my brother. He was like 2 weeks old. And she's like, I need to go food shopping. You know, my dad wasn't home. He was working. She's like, I need to go food shopping. And I couldn't drive. So she's like, you're going to have to watch him. Please watch him. I was like, all right, I'll watch him. So like, it was like back then, you know, like you don't take your baby out if they're not a month old, you know, it's not like today.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like I'll watch him. He's sleeping. But of course, babies sleep until their parents walk out the door. And as soon as they walk out the door, they start crying. She had the bottle and everything ready. He wouldn't stop crying. Even through the bottle, he wouldn't take the bottle. When he just like wanted his mom. And I didn't know what to do. He had a clean diaper, everything. So I was just like panicking because I'm like, this baby won't stop crying. What do I do? I was only 14. So I call my mom and she's like, put the baby down in the crib. Like, don't do anything. I'll be right there. And then I'm like, why is she like so worried? You know, like, and then I realized when I became a parent, like she was probably worried that I was like going to shake the baby to death.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I mean, like responsibilities, I feel like are different now because like you said, you know, I remember being at the bus stops from first grade on by myself. My mom was not at the stop. My parents went to school. I mean, they went to work before I even caught the bus, you know, so they weren't even home.
Well, my mom she got a job once we all started school. She ended up getting a job. So she would come home like 6 o'clock at night. So from 3 to 6, we'd be home alone. You know, at a certain age, there came a point in time where I was able to watch the kids, but I remember being alone a lot. Like we did have a babysitter sometimes on like extra long days or whatever if we didn't have school that day. But I do remember like being alone, and I was fine with it.
I was alone probably like at 10 years old.
Yeah,
but
same.
Now with like the schools and everything, they will not let you off the bus by yourself unless you're in second grade or above. So Lacey's in kindergarten, Nate's in third grade. And sometimes I'm not always outside when because the bus stops right in front of my house, but I'm not always outside when the bus comes. So she sends him and he comes running in the house, Mommy, the bus is here. And I'm like, oh crap. All right. So I run out there all for just, you know, so Lacey can get off the bus.
Yeah, they do that here too. You have to be at least in first grade. I remember one time Julie was in kindergarten and Nikki was a baby and he had an ear infection and we didn't know he had one because like he was up all night long crying and I literally got no sleep that night. So finally, like that morning I brought him to the doctor. We found that he had an ear infection. That's why he didn't sleep. So then like that afternoon, he got put on medication and he was taking a nap. And so while he napped, I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I missed the bus. I slept right through and I missed the bus to her picking up. And I'm getting all these phone calls. When I woke up, I like, you know, like when you wake up in a panic because you like realize, I woke up. Oh my God, I forgot about Julie. So I'm calling the school, I'm calling the bus transportation, and they're like, don't worry, she's here. So they were like about to bring her back to the school and I was gonna have to pick her up from there. But she said that she just finished the route and then came back around and dropped Julie off last. But Julie never let me live that down.
Sure, right? I mean, like, I don't know why I get it, why they don't want to let them off the bus, but like the bus stop's literally in front of my house, like literally in front of my house. So, you know, I don't understand. Lacey is 6 years old. She's almost 7. So she's a little bit older for the kindergarten age. And she's very smart for her age. So she knows exactly how to get off the bus and come in the house by herself. And, you know, we're trying to teach her more about how to handle like strangers and stuff. Like for instance, yesterday she left her Switch in the car and it was dark out. And I told her she can go get it, but I watch through the window because I'm like paranoid and I don't want like somebody to take her or whatever, you know. But she was fine. She went and got the switch and came back and was like, all right, I'm gonna go lay down now, you know, like nothing even happened. So I feel like the kids now, like I feel like they are being treated a little bit more like babies, like, and they're not given the responsibilities at the appropriate ages, whereas we had more responsibility at younger ages, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's true in a lot of ways. I'm trying to teach my kids responsibility too. Like I'm even teaching Jacob to pick up his toys because he will make a complete mess and then I'll be like, he doesn't want to help me clean up. I'm like, no, 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 no. You're gonna help me clean up. But no, he's really good. Like he actually likes to help. He sees me loading or unloading the dishwasher. He runs and he's right there next to me trying to help me. And like today I made the kids clear off their dishes after dinner and I made them scrape the, the whatever was leftovers into the garbage and rinse off their plates, put it in the dishwasher. And Jacob wanted to do it too. He's trying to put his cup. So I'm like, all right, like you gotta let him do it. That's I know it's hard like sometimes to let them help you. Yeah. But because it's easier to do it yourself sometimes.
Well, that's the struggle that I have is just like letting go and letting them do it themselves. Like Nate really wants to wash the dishes and I'm like always like, no, just let me do it. I just want to do it, like get it over with. It's like I know he's not going to wash the dishes like the right way. And I'm going to have to do it over. And I don't have a dishwasher. So like, it's not just like rinsing or whatever.
I was reading an article that was kind of like talking about that. And they're like, what you mean when you say the right way means the way you like it done.
Yeah, exactly. like we talked about in our one episode when it was, the maternal parent the one that stays home with the baby and then the father well, I don't do it that way. Well, that's how I want it done,
well, Julie likes to help out with the dishes every once in a while, like she's learning how to load it because I like the dishwasher loaded a certain way because that's how the dishes fit best, so that's how it gets washed. But I'm trying to teach her how to do it too, and sometimes she's like, I want to wash the dishes. And I'm like, go for it. Wash the dishes. Usually she washes 2 or 3 things and gets tired anyway. But hey, at least she did it.
Yeah.
But I'm also
to let go of my OCD because I'm really OCD when it comes to like things in certain places or how things get done. Like Nate I was cleaning the house on Sunday and Nate wanted to help me. And I'm just like, I'm like cleaning the bathroom and like mopping the floors and stuff. And I'm like, maybe you can mop the floor, but like, I'm not having you clean the bathroom. Sorry. It's not like, first of all, I don't want you touching like the toilet and stuff because I feel like you're not going to wash your hands appropriately afterwards. And I like to shower after, like, I'll get up in the morning to clean. And then after I clean, I'll go take a shower because I just feel like you have to after touching the toilet, nasty things. So I don't know. Maybe I need to give him more responsibilities though, let go a little bit.
Yeah. If my kid was like, Mom, can I clean the toilet? I'd be like, be my guest here. Take it. Your responsibility. Go ahead. Most of the time, like, ew, I'm not touching the toilet. That's gross. There's pee on that. There's poop on that. That would be my like, go ahead. You want to clean the toilet? Yes.
I think it's funny when they're like, ew, that's so gross. And it's like, do you pee? Do you poop? Because that's your, I feel
like this is the kid's bathroom. I don't use this. This is you guys right here.
I wish I had that. Then I can hold them accountable for more things. Because we only have one bathroom upstairs. And, I cleaned on Sunday and I come in there and I'm like, an hour later, I'm like, really? Really, guys? Like, who spit on the freaking mirror?
That's like an issue, the spitting on the mirror. But we used to have one bathroom in our last apartment and it got dirty so quickly with all 4 of us using it because Jacob wasn't born yet. But now that we have 3 bathrooms, I feel like they get dirty, but it takes a little bit longer for them to get dirty just because we're spacing out and spreading out. Like I have a bathroom in my room, then we've got one downstairs. The kids have one upstairs that they use. So it's like doesn't get dirty as quickly. But they can really make a mess in there. Like I can keep my bathroom clean for 2-3 weeks and not have to touch it. And theirs is like every 4 days. I gotta like scrub that thing.
Well, I can't wait till they get older and they have their own house or their own apartment and they can see what we went through to keep the place clean. And I mean, I would hope that they would keep it clean and not like be like a hoarder type situation. Because I feel like, you know, I'm OCD when it comes to things, and I just hope that they don't like turn that into a problem when they get older and like they're like, well, my mom was OCD about cleaning.
I know
I'm not gonna clean.
I'm trying to show Julie like more things, and Nikki too, because he's getting a little older now too. But like for example, she'll like change her clothes like 3 times a day, and then everything goes into the dirty pile. But I'm like, you only wore that for an hour. It's not dirty. Yeah, it is. I wore it. So what? Like just because you wore it for 10 minutes doesn't make it dirty. Like it still smells like laundry detergent. Like fold it up and put it back in the drawers. So I'm trying to teach her like, you know, what things like socks and underwear, they always go. But like if you wore pants and you lounged around the house all day, you didn't do anything, like you can probably wear those one more day.
There are some responsibilities though that like I tell the kids, this is a little too much for you. So like you don't need to be doing this on your own. You need my help. Like for instance, Rob was doing laundry today, and I guess I don't know what the hell happened, but Lacey's like underwear had like poop in it or something like that, and he had to throw them out. So he was like, you know, baby, what is something going on, or are you just not wiping? You know, like what's the problem? But like I feel like she was trying to handle that on her own instead of talking to us about it, when that's something like that you probably should have said something to me about. Like I tell like Nate a lot with certain things. I'm like, you don't need to be doing this on your own yet. You're still a kid. You got to come to me with certain things. There are certain things that you can have the responsibility to do on your own, but there are other things that you still need my help with.
Right. You want to manage your expectations. I'm trying to teach that with Nikki mostly, because he likes to be independent and he's trying to be more independent, but there are some things that you know, like climbing up on things. I don't want him climbing. Like if he needs something from like the top shelf, he'll like push a chair and climb up on the counter or climb up into the pantry and get it. And I don't necessarily feel safe him doing that. So I'm like, can you like, if you need something from high, like let me know, you know? Or like he's learning to wipe too. So every time he's in the bathroom and he's done, he'll be like screaming like, I'm done, come wipe me. I'm trying to teach him like that he can do that himself. He doesn't necessarily need to call me every single time. I was like, I like that you're calling me, but if I'm not around, like feel free to wipe yourself. Like you get bathed regularly. It's not like you're gonna have a crusty butt forever.
Well, make sure he gets over that one quick, because you don't want him when he's like 15. Mom, come wipe my ass.
Yeah, seriously. About to turn 5 and he still wants me to wipe his butt. I'm like, listen, you got to learn how to do this on your own eventually.
That's something that the kids don't ask me about anymore. But like I said, though, clearly Lacey has a problem in the bathroom. So,
but he makes a mess in the bathroom. Like he can't just sit down and like when he sits down to like poo or whatever and he pees, like his pee goes everywhere, like all over the bathroom, all over the floor, like all over his clothes. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, you don't know how to, you know, like aim it? Like
yeah. Well, I actually bought like the flushable wipes for the bathroom, but obviously the kids, they're not allowed to flush them down the toilet. But I told him, I'm like, you can use this to help yourself feel more clean. Like the other day, Nate was like, my butt really hurts and it's all red. And I was like, how do you know it's red? And he's like, I got up on the counter and I looked. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, well, thanks for telling me. I'm like, guess what? You need to shower, you know?
Yeah.
That's like one of my pet peeves is like, I have them shower pretty much every other day, but I tell them all the time, if you want to shower, I don't care. Take a shower as many times as you want a day. It doesn't matter to me. But
yeah,
the minimum is once every other day. So
right.
like last week, for instance, they take a shower on Sundays. So that way Monday they're fresh for school. And then so Tuesday comes around and I'm like, all right, you got to take a shower. And then I said it again, you got to take a shower. Gotta take a shower. And then well, like 9 o'clock rolls around and life happens and I'm like, you didn't take a shower. I'm like, well, now it's 9 o'clock, it's too late, so I guess you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Then Wednesday comes around, you have to take a shower. Yep. Same thing happens, they didn't take a shower. Then Thursday comes,
you don't have to. It is. And especially like, I mean, I think it's a boy thing too. Like boys like showering less than girls do. Because I remember growing up, I used to love to take showers. I used to make sure I was showered like every other day. I remember when we were kids, and I used to ask my mom, like, how come you shower every day and we don't? And she's like, do you want to shower every day? Go right ahead. Right. Like, yeah, I'm not holding you back. But she did like you, like the bare minimum. So my kids, I shower them every 2 or 3 days because they're homeschooled. We don't really do too much. Now that it's summertime, they're going to get showered more often just because they get muddy and stuff. Yeah. But the boys love taking baths. Like they will fight me to stay in the tub. I think it's maybe because they're taking baths and not showers.
Yeah.
But Julie's a procrastinator. So I tell her to go take a shower and like, she's like walking around and like looking for a towel and like procrastinating. The 10 o'clock rolls around and she finally gets in the shower. I'm like, what have you been doing all this time? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but I think the kids, they take showers. They don't take baths anymore. But I got them trained so they have the responsibility to take the shower by themselves. They turn the shower on by themselves.
Yeah, does all that.
Yeah, they wash themselves, and then when they get out, I'm like, okay, you forgot a towel. They always forget a towel. But besides that, I'm like, all right, did you wash your hair? Yeah. Did you wash your butt? Yeah. Did you wash your pee-pee and armpits? Yeah. All right, great. Sounds good to me. So just dry yourself off and put your pajamas on. But
yeah, in the beginning, we had a little bit of an issue. Like Julie would like miss spots in her hair, like close to her forehead, like around her mouth. So like I would have to rewash her hair for her. So there was a couple times like where I was just like, you know what, when it's time to wash your hair, just call me in and I'll like make sure you're not missing any spots. But I still had her do it. I was just like, well, you gotta do more here. You gotta do more here. And eventually, like now she does it. Or like I told her, like if you want to, you can wash it twice, just to make sure you're getting it extra good. But I think she finally figured out how to do it the right way. So, because like sometimes she'll come out of the shower and like still like it's dry in that spot. Like, did you even wet it?
Right.
I think she's just afraid like it's in her face.
Yeah, I feel like though I feel like they have like they're too responsible when it comes with the showering, because like oftentimes I'll just be like, all right, you showered. You're like, I'm not going to ask you any questions, great, you showered. But the other day, Nate came out with like suds in his hair. And I was like, bro, you got shampoo in your hair. He's like, it's not shampoo. I'm like, what is it? And he's like, it's soap. I'm like, wait, you're washing your hair with soap? Body soap? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, Nate, I buy you shampoo for your hair. Why are you not using the shampoo? Why are we using body soap? We have both for a reason. So
right.
How long he had been washing his hair with bar soap. But now I told him, I'm like, please use the shampoo for your hair and use the bar soap for your body.
Yeah. That's probably why it was so sudsy, because the bar soap suds up so much.
Yeah. But I was just like, I let him just do his thing and I never asked any questions.
Well, we just have to remember that when they finally do the right thing to like praise them. So I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of times like I forget to do that sometimes, it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
It's
like
hard
you
to like,
expect them to,
it's so easy to focus on the negative.
yeah. So like putting the shoes away or like hanging their coat up and like the easy stuff, like you expect them to do that. So like it's like, okay, like you don't have to thank them or praise them for that, but you should, because
Yeah.
that might like boost their self-confidence and get them to want to help more.
I do that a lot because it's very rare that they actually put their shoes away or their coat away. And when they do it, I'm like, yes, thank you. Thank you for listening to me finally. But I tell them too, like, I sound like a broken record. Like, don't you want me to stop telling you this and stop talking? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so then, like, when you take your shoes off, you should just like think in your head to go put them away. That's like my biggest pet peeve and my biggest problem I have with them is leaving their stuff on the floor and not on the floor like in their room. It's like in the middle of my kitchen underneath the kitchen table.
Yeah. Well, one, we have to lead by example, because I know for myself, it's really easy for me to like walk in with my shoes and forget to take them off at the door.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, I forgot to take my shoes off, and I'll just take them off wherever I'm at, and I don't put them away for like an hour or two later. And like I'm really bad with that. I need to get better with that. Martin's always complaining, your shoes are always around. Like, why am I always tripping on your shoes?
Rob does that. See, I swear, I have like OCD when it comes to like cleaning and it comes to like things being like needing to be in its spot. Like Nate tells me all the time, you know where everything is and you hear everything I say. And I'm like, exactly. But so it's everybody else that I'm like Rob will come home, takes his shoes off wherever, puts his pants wherever, or like, everybody in the house will take off clothes and it's on the floor next to the hamper.
Yeah.
Really? Like that drives me crazy too. Like I tell Nate all the time too, like you are almost 9 years old. You can be responsible enough that when you take your clothes off, you can put it in the hamper and
Right.
not on the floor.
Well, Julie, like she'll get up sometimes in the morning and make her bed all by herself without me asking. Like when we clean her room, like if it gets real bad, I'll help her clean. But for the most part, she cleans it herself, and she like likes to keep it clean. She's like, "Oh, my room's getting too messy. I gotta clean it up." Nikki too. Like, we've been getting into the habit of just picking up the toys, like just picking up the floor at the end of the day before they go to bed, so that way they wake up to a nice clean room.
Yeah.
And he that all by himself, but like he'll try, but he's like still asks for help. So what I'll do is I'll just stand on one side and have him do the other. And I just like, okay, well, you got to bring the sheet up this way. And like, I'll show him from my side and he'll just mimic me. And it's not perfect, but he's learning how to get it done.
Yeah, well, Lacey like said to me today, she's like, "I'm sorry, my room is a little messy right now. I'll make sure it's cleaner." And I'm like, I think it's finally like setting in her mind, like she needs to keep her room clean because I tell them all the time, guess what? Next time, I'm just gonna throw out whatever's on the floor. I don't care if it's your coveted baby Yoda. Why is he on the floor? If you love him so much, then why is he on the floor? So I guess you don't really care. So I'm just going to throw him in the garbage. And
Well, that goes hand in hand with teaching them consequences too for not doing the responsible thing. I mean, like if you're telling, like for example, with the homework thing, if you're telling them constantly, put your folder in your backpack, put your folder in your backpack, and they leave for school and they forgot to put their folder in their backpack, well, guess what?
yes.
They don't have homework for the day. They get marked whatever, miss the grade. Like you're not going to bring it to them every single time. So, or the same thing with their lunch. They forgot. Well, you either got to buy school lunch or don't get to eat today. Like next time, I bet you're going to remember your lunch.
Yeah, well, it's the same with the teacher. It's not the teacher's fault that you left your folder at home. So it's not her fault that you're not going to be able to get credit for the work that you worked so hard on. And also, bring home the work that you need for the next day. That's your fault, not anybody else's.
And that's the consequence. They have to deal with the repercussions of their actions.
Nate has dealt with that a lot this year. And it took him probably until a few months ago to finally remember to bring home all his homework and, his folder and all those things, because he knew that he was going to get in trouble and then he was going to have to do double the work. So like one of the things I was going to say also is like the lists these lists focus on your child's span of control rather than on tasks that you want them to do. So like there's a reason for that. So when you focus on a list of tasks that your child should do, you end up creating power struggles. Like by now you should be able to clean up your own toys. If instead you focus on helping your child take charge of his life and support him as necessary to learn each new skill, your child wants to step into each new responsibility. Instead of holding him responsible, he becomes motivated to take responsibility for himself. It's a subtle shift, but it also makes the difference in the world, which I agree with. So, you shouldn't be like demanding or making them feel bad by saying, you should be doing this already by your age. You should already know how to do this. That like doesn't build up their self-confidence. That puts them down and makes them feel like, they're not doing the right thing and that like maybe they feel stupid,
Mm-hmm. What I do, we do checklists too, and we do a ticket system. So like certain tasks are worth certain amount of tickets, and then at the end of the week, they get to cash in their tickets or they get to save them for a bigger prize if they save them up for a couple weeks, depending on like what they want to buy and stuff. So what I like to do when we're cleaning, because like we pick certain days when we clean, like usually Tuesdays or Fridays are our cleaning days, I'll just make a list of everything that needs to get done. And then I'll be like specific, like clean the table, wipe down the furniture, load the dishwasher, whatever. I'll write it all down and then I'll read it out loud and I'll let them pick like 3 chores each what they want to do. So it's kind of like, I need it done, but I'm going to let you choose what you want to get done. So that way there's no complaining later. Like you gave him the harder one, or this is too hard for me. I'm like, well, you did. So
yeah, exactly.
I know like Julia, she likes to like mop the floor. So she'll pick like mop the floor. And I'm like, all right, like, okay, you want to mop, go ahead. Like I'd rather her not, but what am I going to do? Like, that's what she picked. So
yeah, but at least you're giving your kids the option to choose the responsibility that they want. And also like, things we talked about before, they're just like suggestions. So, your kid better than anybody else, and what level they are at and what they are capable of doing and what may be like a little bit of a struggle that you might have to help them with.
Yeah. Well, I know like there are some things like that I don't know if I can think of an example right off the top of my head, but I know there are some things that my kids will I'll let them clean, but then like, later I'll have to go back and re-clean it myself. And I hate doing that because it like undermines what they do, but it's just like like my son will like want to clean something and I'll be like, okay, you can clean it, but I know I'm going to have to go behind him and just clean it again.
But I feel like as long as you're not doing that in front of them, then that's not going to discourage them or make them feel bad about it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I feel like basically, when you give your child responsibilities, you're trying to build up their self-confidence and hopefully create a decent human being for their adult life. Not a big chunk of your life that your child stays in your home. you know, at 18 years old, they're considered an adult, so they can go move out and do whatever they want. So, you know, if they do move out when they're 18, then you only had your kid in your house for 18 years. So in the grand scheme of life, that's not a very long time. So, you know, try to, like my mother always said, I got to teach you and then lose you.
Yeah, it's true. You want to teach your girls to be responsible wives and, you know, I guess like for their husbands, you know, but you also want to teach your boys to be able to help their wives out too, because you don't want just to like expect the wife to do everything, you know? So you got to teach them both. Teach your boys how to, and teach your girls how to fix something.
Yeah, well, I think our children can learn from us. Like the other day, I was getting a new tattoo and he's my friend. So we were talking and stuff, and he gave me some good advice. You know, he was saying it was about relationships. So, you know, your relationship that your daughter is going to have with a man is with their father. So if it's not a good relationship, loving relationship, or, you know, you're teaching them the responsibility, then they're going to parlay that into their personal relationships. So you have a good father that can teach them how to change a tire or fill up their own gas tank and just be more independent. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you can't change a tire or you can't fill up your gas tank. And vice versa, like for a male, like Nate's seeing me as his first woman in his life, and, you know, teaching him how to cook and how to clean, how to keep a nice household. So, you know, you get the one side of the maternal mother that usually keeps the house intact, and then the other side of the father that's more the fix it, mechanical type, you know, that it goes hand in hand with the father, daughter, and, you know, the son, mother.
Yeah, absolutely. So teaching your kids responsibility might not always be easy, but you have to let them do it. You have to let them do the work just so they start learning, and you want to just guide them along. And use chore sheets because they motivate them, and then make sure that you praise them, not just give them a reward, but tell them like what a good job they did. And it builds their self-confidence, which is what we're going to be talking about in a future episode, how to build self-confidence in your kids. But I really hope you guys got something out of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed speaking about it. We enjoyed sharing our experiences. If you guys have any experiences you'd like to share with us, we'd love to hear it. We're always looking to improve on our parenting styles. So any tips, send them our way. You can find us on Instagram at candid.motherhood and on Facebook. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Have a good night, Candid Mamas. Thank you so much for listening to Candid Motherhood Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please subscribe, share, and rate our podcast.
If you have any ideas for future episodes or want to learn more about us, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram at candid.motherhood and on Twitter at @cmotherhood.
We appreciate your love and support. Until next time, thank you, Candid Mamas.